The second Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Moyo Moses Frank, MP. Honorable members, the delegation is accompanied by 6 officers of the National Assembly of Zambia, led by the Deputy Clerk, Mr. Stephen Kawimbe. The delegation is in the country on a study visit to benchmark on the mental health practices and policies that the Parliament of Kenya has put in place for members and staff. The delegation seeks to learn ways of addressing systemic challenges and mitigation measures on mental health at the workplace. Honourable members, on my behalf and that of the Assembly, I welcome them to the House of Parliament and wish them fruitful engagements during their stay. I thank you. Yes, Honourable Senior Counsel Otienda Mola.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as the other members make their way to the chamber, I rise under Standing Order number 1, as read with Standing Order number 29. If the Honorable Wamboka Wanami will take his seat, I will prosecute my point shortly. Mr. Speaker, under Standing Order number 1, it gives you discretion to give direction on any matter not expressly provided for. Under Standing Order number 29, it allows a member or members to request the leader of majority and or the leader of minority for a special sitting. Mr. Speaker, as you may recall, a significant number of members, totaling 41, did request a special sitting to discuss the very important matter of non-disbursement of CDF funds in this country. Mr. Speaker, that communication issued on 1st of February and was duly copied to your office. Mr. Speaker, we have today resumed our regular sittings, but without a response or directions on that request. So the first point of direction, Mr. Speaker, is for you to guide where members who themselves are the one to sit request a special sitting and it is not constituted. How should that request be treated? Mr. Speaker, secondly, your direction on another important thing. On the 5th of December 2023, Mr. Speaker, at the continued push by members, you did issue communication, having been given information that the funds would be disbursed before the end of December. That was on 5th of December. It now appears, Mr. Speaker, that the Cabinet Secretary for Treasury may have misled our Speaker. Where a Cabinet Secretary who is answerable to this House misleads the leader of this House, how should we treat that? Mr. Speaker, I know that we are yet to constitute the House Business Committee. But, Mr. Speaker, this is an important matter where we need direction, because the directions that we are given or we take may well constitute our consideration of whether the House Business Committee as proposed is appropriate or not. Mr. Speaker, with respect, I do not imagine what other businesses we can be discussing when Kenyans are at home, students are at home, because we've not disbursed those funds. Mr. Speaker, without that, I think this sitting should be suspended until further notice. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order, honourable members. Honourable Otienda Amolo, Senior Counsel, you have a legitimate point, but your prescription is unnecessarily drastic. We can resolve the issue without suspending our sitting, particularly on day 1, when we want, in fact, to facilitate you to move the motion if you wish for members to debate. Number 1, the letter you wrote, you addressed to the majority leader and the minority leader, only copied to Mr. Speaker. And it's those two leaders who would have then motioned the Speaker to call for a special sitting. None of them did. Order. Order, honorable members. Order. So it is not within It is not within the Speaker's competence to call for a special sitting. It's within the Speaker's competence to convene a special sitting when he has been motioned by a member, and it's the leadership. But it's now water under the bridge. We are sitting anyway. So we can allocate you time at an appropriate time, not today, so that you can discuss this important issue. Today being the first day, order CNN, I'm sure you know the standing orders. Today being the first day, we don't have a House Business Committee. So there is no business that has been approved and designated to be transacted. Understanding order number 1, today after we've cleared the motion on House business, I will only exercise my discretion to allow the woman rep for Elgeyo Marakwet to make a statement on the tragedy that befell one of our most rising athletic stars. It will be a very short statement. I have approved it for the CDF issue. Tomorrow, if you wish, you can file a motion of adjournment, and I'll give you time to debate. But before we do that, I think we will allow the majority leader tomorrow to bring a statement on the issue of disbursement of CDF. I did see a letter written to Mr. Speaker from the Treasury, and I passed it on to the clerk, detailing how the Treasury intends to disburse your CDF and conclude before the next financial year like they did last year. As to the timings, it's administrative, and I'll leave it to the majority leader, who is your interface with the government, to handle and report to the House tomorrow morning. It's so directed. Yes, Wangari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I rise to just seek your clarification on the communication that you gave, especially on the lapse of business. Yes. And this is specific to questions, yes, being that this is a new model where we have the cabinet secretaries come here and answer questions. And my question and clarification, Mr. Speaker, is that what happens if you file a question and there is no other interest? And I say that because I filed a question to the Cabinet Secretary for Gender, Culture and Arts in April last year. But there has been no other member interested to warrant the CS to come. Why would I be disenfranchised as a member because I was queuing to actually kill that business, yet it was not responded to? I would like your clarification on that, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Majority Leader, you've heard what the Honorable Member for Gilgil has said, that in bringing ministers to this House, it matters not how many questions have been filed. I think give each dog an opportunity to have a bite. So bring ministers regardless of the number of questions, so that each minister can come and face the House, and supplementaries may arise therefrom. So that, of course, priority goes to those with heavy questions and many questions, but even those with one question, like Wangari's question, you can edge them in for 10, 15 minutes, they finish, then you go to the ones with more questions. Yes, Junet, you have a point of order?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I am guided fully by your direction on the earlier matter of the CDF.
Yes.
But Mr. Speaker, you are also right that we need to have the House Business Committee so that we get into motion,
Yes.
so that we can do business of the House. But Mr. Speaker, the fear of the members is that, if I may bring it to your attention, is that once House gets into business as supposed to be, the executive will not honor their word, they will not keep their word, it will be business as usual. And some of the reasons why the members are raising this matter ahead of the constitution of the House Business Committee is actually to paralyze the House, so that members can get their CDF in time and money can be released to those accounts, Mr. Speaker. So I don't know, Mr. Speaker, how those fears will be allayed. Because if we go back into business as required, because this is the first day of our meeting, of our sitting, then it will be business as usual also for the Treasury Minister. And you will assume that Parliament now is sitting normal. What is this message that we can send to him that we are serious on this matter and will not relent with the Speaker? And one of the things that members have agreed upon to be as a whip that I can bring to attention is to paralyze the House once and for all, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, don't allow the House business motion to be moved until money is released to the account of the CDF, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Junet, you know one of the most important strategic thinking components is you must choose your battles very carefully. If you want to do what you're saying you want to do, paralyze a properly constituted house. There's no point paralyzing a house that is not a house yet. Because if you do that, even if you want to frog march the minister here, to flog him and grill him and do whatever you want with him, he cannot come because you will not be properly constituted. So choose your battles very carefully. So what I have a letter which I'll share with the majority and minority leaders from the minister dated 9th January 2024 to Mr. Speaker, detailing how they intend to disburse your funds. And now it's up to them to also do a follow-up. I'll ask the clerk to pass it on to them. The Speaker is not in the habit of reading letters written to him or on the floor of the House. The letter will be shared between the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party. After we constitute the House Business Committee, I'll give them more direction on what to do. Yes, Dr. Makali Mulu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to start by wishing all the members a Happy New Year, including yourself. We agree with your direction, Honorable Speaker, and we respect it. But I think it's also important we learn the lessons. Honorable Speaker, on 5th December, you as the head of this independent institution called Parliament, you did communicate to this House and indicated to us that by 20th December, we'll be getting our CDF into our accounts. So even as we support you, Honorable Speaker, our concern would be a situation where the Honorable Speaker, who is the head of this institution, will keep on giving official communication to this House, and the letter and the spirit of that communication is never respected. So, Honorable Speaker, we want to agree with you that we have whatever, we continue, but I think, Honorable Speaker, it is very important that whatever you communicate to us as our boss is respected by all other authorities in this country. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I think we should, on the same issue. Yes, KJ.
Mr. Speaker, I rise on standing order number 1. Mr. Speaker, I would require your attention. Mr. Speaker, I'm rising on standing order number 1, invoking your discretion, asking for you to actually call this House to order and get onto the procedural business that we need to do so that we can constitute this House properly, because everything that we discuss now it holds no water, Mr. Speaker. In fact, it is an effort in futility to go into a debate before we have constituted the House properly. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm calling upon you and just pleading with you to use your discretion and get into the business of the day so that we can constitute the House properly and that any business that we prosecute will be properly and procedurally before the House. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Yes. Majority.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and wish to welcome all members back to the House as I lay the papers. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table and the House today, Tuesday, February 13th, 2024. 1. Legal notice number 170 of 2023 relating to the Capital Markets Alternative Investment Funds Regulations 2023 and the explanatory memorandum from the National Treasury. Secondly, legal notice number 171 of 2023 relating to the Capital Markets Credit Rating Agencies Regulations 2023 and the explanatory memorandum from the National Treasury. 3. Legal notice number 172 of 2023 relating to the Capital Markets Public Offers, Listing and Disclosures Regulations 2023 and the explanatory memorandum from the National Treasury. 4. Legal notice number 173 of 2023 relating to the Capital Markets Collective Investment Schemes Regulations 2023 and the explanatory memorandum from the National Treasury. 5. The Public Procurement Capacity Building Levy Order 2023 from the National Treasury. 6. The proposed Public-Private Partnerships Regulations 2023 from the National Treasury. 7. Report of the Auditor General and on national government for the financial year 2023 and 2022-2023. And finally, performance audit report on conservation of heritage sites by the National Museums of Kenya for February 2023 from the Office of the Auditor General. I thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable members, let me allow the Honorable Ngelechei to make her short statement. When she finishes, I'll give 3 on this side and 3 on this side to eulogize the late Kelvin Kiptum, and thereafter we go to the next motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving the people of Elgeyo Marakwet this opportunity, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 43, I wish to make a statement regarding the untimely passing on of a marathon world record holder, Mr. Kelvin Kiptum, on Sunday, 11th February 2024. Honorable Speaker, members will recall that on 12th October 2023, I rose under Standing Order 259D to notify the House of the great achievement of Mr. Kelvin Kiptum, who had on 8th October 2023 broken the world record holder.
Order, honorable members, order whips. Can we hear the Honorable Ngelechei in some reasonable degree of silence? I know there's exuberance of post-holiday. Go on, Ngelechei.
Let me start it again, Honorable Speaker. DK. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you once again for giving the people of Elgeyo Marakwet this opportunity. Pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 43, I wish to make a statement regarding the untimely passing on of a marathon world record holder, Mr. Kelvin Kiptum, on Sunday, 11th February 2024. Honorable Speaker, members will recall that on 12th October 2023, I rose under Standing Order 259D to notify the House of the great achievements of Mr. Kelvin Kiptum, who had on 8th October 2023 broken the world marathon record at Chicago Marathon, becoming the fastest marathoner in the world with a time of 2 hours and 35 seconds, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, the tribute of the House to the national hero were recorded with great compliments. Honorable Speaker, it is therefore with a heavy heart that today the nation mourns the loss of this great sportsman following a tragic road accident on 11th February 2023. At the young age of 24 years, Mr. Kiptum had achieved what many athletes would only dream of. He had successfully conquered Valencia, Chicago, London Marathon, among other top competitions, to which he has left a triumphant legacy as the fastest marathoner of his time, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, it was expected that this conquering sequence would be replicated in the upcoming 2024 Olympics. Honorable Speaker, Mr. Kiptum's narrative transcends the mere passage of time, standing as a testament of his unyielding determination and unwavering fortitude. He was a beacon of hope not only to the people of his village, Chepsamo village, his ward, Kaptarakwa ward, Keyo South constituency of Elgeyo Marakwet County, but also to the many in the country and beyond. I wish to therefore take this early opportunity to condole with the family and his friends of the late Mr. Kelvin Kiptum, the athletics fraternity, and the people of Kenya at large for the loss of the extraordinary sportsman. Honorable Speaker, with your indulgence, may I request that we all stand to observe a minute of silence in honor of the departed sportsman.
All the honorable members, can you be upstanding? Can we all be upstanding? And let's observe a minute's silence in honor of the young hero.
May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Amen.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Ngaleche, you have done the Speaker's job. I will now allow 3 on either side. Member for Keyo South. Member for Keyo South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Gideon.
I join my colleague, the woman rep of Elgeyo Marakwet, in mourning the demise of Kelvin Kiptum. Kelvin Kiptum comes from my constituency.
Take 2 minutes, huh?
In a village called Chepsamo, and we are actually neighbors at home. I knew Kelvin Kiptum personally. We've interacted. He was a member of athletics committee in my constituency, and we are planning great things together. We sympathize with the family. We mourn with the family, his spouse, the father and the mother. Actually, Kelvin was the only son in that family, the only child, actually. We mourn with the constituency of Keyo South. I lead the constituency in mourning the death of Kelvin. But Mr. Speaker, as we mourn the death of Kelvin, some actions must be taken by the Ministry of Sports. We remember the death of Wanjiru, who was a promising star. Actually, he died at the age of 24, the same as Kelvin Kiptum. Another several. We remember the lady who was killed in Iten under mysterious circumstances. So we call on the Ministry of Sports that they must take our athletes seriously, because some of them are young and they are promising careers, but they are left on their own. But when they are outside there, when they represent Kenya, we all celebrate. But once they are here, they are left on their own. We must ask the Ministry of Sports to support our athletes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Kalango.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. The constituency of Langata joins the whole country in mourning the death of Kelvin Kiptum, a rising star And this is so sad that he was supposed to represent the country in the 2024 Olympics in Paris, France. But even as we mourn the death of Kelvin, having listened to what his father said, I think there should be a thorough investigation to what actually caused the accident. And apart from that, we need and request that our athletes be treated as VIPs and be given security, and all our top athletes who represent this country bring the accolades, and they're always just celebrated. Immediately, they get their medals. After that, they are forgotten about. Kindly, we request that a thorough investigation be done to the cause of this accident that led to the death of Kelvin Kiptum. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mama Zamzam.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi kama mama Mombasa nachukua fursa hii kutoa rambirambi zangu za pole pamoja na wakazi wa Mombasa kwa familia ya Kelvin Kiptum. Alikuwa ni shujaa, alikuwa kijana mahiri katika mbio, na mimi sana naweza kupeleka pole zangu kwa babake ambaye alilia sana kwa uchungu, akisema ni mtoto wake wa pekee. Na alisema Mheshimiwa Spika, nikinukuu, kuwa kuna watu walikwenda nyumbani, alikuwa hajui ni watu gani, lakini wakawa wamesema wametumwa kutoka sehemu fulani. Kwa hiyo na mimi pia naweza kupigia pondo nikisema hii yake ichunguzwe, ijulikaniwe, pengine kuna mkono wa mtu ama ni vipi Mheshimiwa Spika. Na si yeye peke yake Mheshimiwa Spika, nikumbuke pia na mabinti zetu, watoto wetu wa kike ambao wameuliwa hivi karibuni ovyo ovyo. Mwenyezi Mungu pia na Mheshimiwa Spika, pia natoa rambirambi zangu za pole kwa familia zao, na niweze kusema kuwa serikali iweze kuangalia vifo hivi vinavyotokea hasa kwa kina mama, ni vipo vya kusikitisha sana. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Member for Endebess.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir, for allowing me to join my colleagues in sending message of condolence to the family of our athlete, Kelvin Kiptum. Honorable Speaker, this is a very sad moment for our country and for a young man at the age of 24 losing his life at just not even before his prime. Honorable Speaker, I think what I would urge the Ministry of Sports to do is that we need to have a culture or a format in which we are able to counsel our athletes, make sure that we are able to advise them on how to even, once they qualify to become good athletes, they can be able to be guided properly so that they can be able to live in a more better way. Especially, Honorable Speaker, sometimes you look at some of the athletes who have made this country great, and you look at the life they are leading is in abject poverty after many years of doing very well, making a lot of money for the country and for themselves, and they're ending up in a miserable state. So we need to be able to even guide them on how they can invest and make better lives for themselves later on. We've seen some who have done very successfully. We've seen recently there's others who have even put up the Leo village in Eldoret, which is a very innovative way of retirement. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to join the colleagues to say pole sana to the family of Kelvin Kiptum, pole sana to the parent losing his only son, and pole to my colleague, the member for Keyo South, for the loss of his constituent.
Irene Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the young people of Kenya to express my sincere condolences to Kelvin Kiptum and also to his Rwandese coach, who also perished in the same road accident. And Honorable Speaker, I just want to join my colleagues, even as we say pole to the family, having lost a dependent. And this goes back to the question that Honorable Martha Wangari raised, because we raised questions here concerning the sports, the nature of the insurance and the life insurance for our sports people, so that even such families can get to benefit from life insurance. Honorable Speaker, secondly, I just also want to express my condolences to the people of Kenya, and also to just say that in the last 2 days, we've seen a lot of insensitive information going out on social media. And I'd just like to urge fellow Kenyans that we should not jump into conclusions, and we should be very careful in terms of the things that you're saying out there, because they're insensitive and they're not fair to the family. Honorable Speaker, once again, my sincere apologies to the family and to my colleague, the member of Elgeyo Marakwet, and also to Keyo. Thank you.
Mutunga, member for...
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to also pass on my condolences to the family of Kelvin Kiptum. Honorable Speaker, this is a young man who was right at the top of the world, having worked his way through. Honorable Speaker, he was an encouragement to many, and many Kenyans for that matter, because when he flies the flag of this country in those areas where he has won marathon, he makes Kenya proud. He takes our position on the map. Honorable Speaker, to mourn this young man, this great leader in marathon, I call upon the Kenyans who are engaged in this particular game to work very hard and practice very hard to still take this position, because it's a Kenyan position. Honorable Speaker, to the family, the friends, and even neighbors of this fallen hero, we pass our condolences. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Well, I've taken 3-3. I had promised 3-3. We have done 3-3. I think we can stop there. Honorable Tim, you will speak another time. Let's go to the next order.
Order number 8, motion, appointment of members to the House Business Committee.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and allow me, Honorable Speaker, to also take this opportunity to first say Happy New Year to all members and to welcome them back to the House in this good year 2024. And Honorable Speaker, as you indicated, I do pray that the House will be quiet the way it was this afternoon as we began. Honorable Speaker, you noted even the Honorable Junet today was right on time. Unlike last year, and I want to believe that this year he will be a changed man. Honorable Speaker, also allow me as Chair of the Parliamentary Service Commission to congratulate you for the good work that you have done around the precincts of Parliament, right from the gate, Honorable Speaker. As we drove in today, you can't fail to notice the changes that are there. Honorable Speaker, even as you walk into this chamber, previously, Honorable Speaker, and you know your skin complexion is not very dark, we would struggle to see you. But now we can clearly see you. The lighting above your seat is quite impressive. And so is the lighting also in the chamber, Honorable Speaker. And I also did notice at times you have had to struggle to be heard because of the height of the microphone on your desk, and now it's quite audible from where you stand. Honorable Speaker, congratulations, and I hope that the clerk's office and that of the clerk in the Senate, as the Secretary of the Commission, will endeavor to maintain these standards so that even as these facilities age, repairs and maintenance are done occasionally when the House is not sitting. Honorable Speaker, I then beg to move that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Orders 171(1)(f), this House approves the appointment of the following members to the House Business Committee, in addition to those specified under paragraph A, B, C, D, and E. 1, the Honorable Omboko Milemba, CBS MP. 2, the Honorable Robert Mbui, CBS MP. 3, the Honorable Faith Wairimo Getao, MP. 4, the Honorable Samuel K. Chepkonga, CBS MP. 5, the Honorable Adan Welie Kainan, CBS MP. 6, the Honorable Tom Joseph Francis Kajwang, MP. Sorry, the Honorable Tom Joseph Francis Kajwang, MP. 7, the Honorable Sarah Paulata Correre, MP. 8, the Honorable Joshua Mbithi Mwalio, MP. 9, the Honorable Umul Kher Kasim Sheikh, MP. Honorable Speaker, these 9 members shall be nominated. Is required, Honorable Speaker, that these 9 members, in addition to those that are already provided for in under standing orders by virtue of the offices they hold, these 9 will be nominated by political parties and approved by the House at the commencement, Honorable Speaker, as you indicated, of every session, and this being the beginning of a new session, we are then bound to approve these members. Honorable Speaker, members will note that the membership of the committee has remained as it were in the last session. As Honorable Speaker, we thought as the House leadership that this will ensure there is some institutional memory of the committee and its operations as we begin this new year. Honorable Speaker, I therefore urge the House to approve these members so as to kickstart the very important business schedule for this part of the 3rd session and the overall fulfillment of our constitutional mandate as the people's representatives. Honorable Speaker, with those few remarks, I beg to move, and I want to ask my counterpart and good friend, the Honorable Pio Wandai, the leader of Minority Party, to second the motion for approval. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Good friend, the floor is for you.
The Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. As I second the motion, let me also take this opportunity to welcome fellow members back to the House after a fairly long recess. It's a recess that has enabled us to interact with our constituents and Kenyans in general. Honorable Speaker, this past recess has enabled me to visit, I think, your constituency. I was able to be hosted by Honorable Tim Wanyonyi in Kandui constituency, and that, I'm sure, is an indication that perhaps next time I come, I could be hosted by yourself, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this recess...
You are most welcome.
This recess has also given us an opportunity to actually know ourselves better and to know our colleagues. I must acknowledge, Mr. Speaker, that during this recess, the Honorable Wanami Mwamboka, member for Bomula, struck me as a very, very fearless defender of the people. He's a man to watch, not only in Bungoma, but the entire nation. So I must congratulate Honorable Wanami for remaining steadfast. Let me say this, that really we need to approve this list. Approve the list of nominees to the House Business Committee, if only to embark on business in earnest, especially the business of the NGCDF, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I heard your counsel, I heard your advice to Honorable Junet a while back. And if I'm to take cue from what you said, let me say this, that the matter of NGCDF and NGAF is so serious that I don't think it can be wished away. And let me just give notice. Mr. Speaker, like you and Honorable Ichungwa, these members are our electors. Our constituency is here. But the mood I sense, the mood which is prevailing currently, is such that even if we pass this motion, the first business after the passage of this motion, and not tomorrow morning, because tomorrow morning ordinarily is not so much work, but tomorrow afternoon, Mr. Speaker, tomorrow at 2:30 p.m., if we wouldn't have been told that monies have been disbursed to the NGCDF committee accounts in the constituencies, and in the absence of satisfactory explanation, I think it will be fair that we pend business from that time tomorrow, and pend it totally, until such a time that we shall be convinced. And the Honorable Chair is looking at me, Honorable Sirma, Musa Sirma, please, let's not get there. Let's not get there. The National Treasury has got time between now and tomorrow 2:30 p.m. to remit NGCDF and GAF monies to their respective accounts, so that tomorrow when we come here and such remittances are not confirmed, then the law of nature should take its course. Otherwise, with all those preliminary remarks, I second. Thank you.
Order, honorable members. Order. Order. Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 171-1F, this House approves the appointment of the following members to the House Business Committee, in addition to those specified under paragraphs A, B, C, D, and E. The Honorable Mboko Mlemba, CBS MP, the Honorable Robert Mbui, CBS MP, the Honorable Faith Wairimu Gitau, MP, the Honorable Samuel K. Chepkonga, CBS MP, the Honorable Adan Wahilie Keinan, CBS MP, the Honorable Tom Joseph Francis Kajwang, MP, the Honorable Sarah Paulata Correre, MP, the Honorable Joshua Mbidi Mwalio, MP, and the Honorable Umul Khair Kasim Sheikh, MP. Can we put the question? I now put the question, honorable members, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 171-1F, this House approves the appointment of the following members to the House Business Committee, in addition to those specified under paragraphs A, B, C, D, and E. The Honorable Mboko Milemba, CBS MP, the Honorable Robert Mbui, CBS MP, Honorable Okello. When the Speaker is communicating, you are duty-bound to remain silent. You are now causing even more problems. The Honorable Faith Wairimu Gitau, MP, the Honorable Samuel K. Chepkonga, CBS MP, the Honorable Adan Wahilie Keinan, CBS MP, the Honorable Tom Joseph Francis Kajwang, MP, the Honorable Sarah Paulata Correre, MP, the Honorable Joshua Mbithi Mwali, MP, and the Honorable Umul Khair Kasim Sheikh, MP. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, you may now be upstanding. It's the end of our business today. All the members who have been approved by the House as members of the House Business Committee, you meet in committee room number 9 in the next 10 minutes to program business for the House. Honorable members, we now stand adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, 14th February 2023 at 9:30 a.m.